Welcome Arnold, always one of the quickest. Welcome Daniel as well. Okay, I see a lot of people joining. Welcome Kijos, welcome Lise, Abby, and Slatan. Welcome to the stream again. Yeah guys, stop selling the BTC. It's crazy. This is super controlled selling without any good bounce. It's basically from the weekly open. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the weekly open. Basically straight down. No significant bounce, anything. Just super controlled selling. And then there is not much to do besides not trying to be a hero. I know the feeling when this goes down that you think I'm too late for short, so I'm only looking for longs, and that you then start zooming in and trying to catch the bottom. I've been burned many times doing that. So I now know, just don't do it. Don't try to be the hero and fight the trend, because you will try it one time, then you get stopped out, then you will try it again, and at that point you cannot think normal again, because you will try to catch the low each time, while it's more likely that this just continues lower instead of a big reversal. So for me, there's nothing to do here. All I am waiting for basically is to see either like a massive drop down and then a huge volume spike, indicating that a lot of longs are getting liquidated, or that we just see like big shorts entering with longs getting forced to sell. If we then see a spike, that means that a lot of people are being offset, and that could give a potential trigger for a reversal. But for now, all we see is just longs entering, getting stopped out, longs entering, getting stopped out. And as long as that's the case, market makers are just comfy in their positions and are probably just waiting for people to enter big shorts, and then they think, okay, it's time to reverse it. We're gonna take the liquidity to the upside again. But until then, this just looks super weak and can just continue this way. So all I'm waiting for is either a big spike in volume to see a lot of people get trapped or get liquidated, or price to just flow over into a sideways, which also shows some sort of absorption, because right now this is just pure sell strength. So what we want to see is either a big spike or a big spike to the upside, doesn't matter, and then a range. And then we know that ranges form, and that's an indication of what the market does. So right now we are clearly trending down. The moment we start a range, it means that the selling pressure has calmed out, and then we can watch how is the range progressing. Are we taking the lows, indicating absorption, or are we forming a redistribution and then they are filling the bags for even lower? So for now, not much to do on BTC besides just waiting. But if we look at the big picture, pretty crazy sell pressure. First we were here, then we broke structure, and since early of like basically last week already, where we also at the start of the week formed the weekly high, and then also basically the whole week straight down. Then some chop, and this week a replica, just straight down. So the bears are definitely in control, and so far there's no reason to expect a reversal until the signs are super clean for that. If you look at the daily, does not look good. Does not look good. So let's see what happens. We are basically nearing the last clean demand zones available, which is this 3-hour demand, I believe. It's also still daily demand, and then a little demand below it. And this is the last line of defense, because below that we only have these stacked lows, basically starting at this lowest demand. So either buyers step in around these levels, but below like 67k, there's basically nothing to hold price up from taking out all these lows. So let's see what happens. For now, this is looking super bearish. Does not mean you should enter shorts right now, but it means to not try to be a hero and catch a knife, because this is just a slow bleed. And more often than not, slow bleeds like this, where you just very gradually go lower and lower, more often than not, they end up with a big liquidation. So basically waiting for that. And then we can also have a look at the MMT, what it is showing. I've been saying since the start of the week that the open interest not really doing much. Look, right now we start to see some aggression with some liquidations starting to come in. Spot still selling off. Open interest. Look, this is getting more interesting. The whole week we have basically been grinding down, and we start buying. Basically longs just entering, getting stopped. Long entering, getting stopped. Open interest not doing much. So that means that longs are entering, getting stopped out, but shorts are also not really entering. But right now we can see that basically since around 12 European time, so 4 hours ago, price is going down right there, and open interest is going up, which means that shorts are now getting aggressive. And that either means they are ready to push it for a final liquidation cluster, or it means that everyone that has been longing the whole move is now getting bearish. So now we are getting some more action. It does not change anything to my plans, because I will still trade the models, and this is not one of the models in the making. But we can watch if we get that liquidation move in the next few hours. Looks like we are now already getting some more controlled, or at least some increased selling. So let's see how this progresses. Little alert at the bottom of the demand. And in the meantime, USDT remains just super strong, which is not weird because it's the opposite of Bitcoin. But yeah, we have been in this Model 1 accumulation, and since then, super clear for our web trend, respecting everything super nicely. So super clean, higher highs, higher lows. Trend has never been broken. So all this time, structure has been bullish, and until that changes, yeah, this is likely more likely to reach the technical target of the Model 1, which is the range high right here. I had a POI, which was this super clean 12-hour supply block, but price is now pushing above it. So this one is gone. Super strong move through that 12-hour supply, and that shows the strength of a move. If you have super clean supply, like let me show it on 12, like this, super clean supply where you have buy, then super aggressive sell with this big imbalance, and if price just slices through it like this, that's showing a lot of strength. So yeah, right now even on the 4-hour, it can give a pullback all the way to here and still remain bullish to eventually reach that upper block. So yeah, definitely looking super strong. And are we creating new demand in the meantime? Yeah, so this is more local 1 hour structure. 4 hour structures down here. Yeah, we can watch what happens if price reaches this upper supply block around 8.1%. Above that, it's a quick move into the range high, which is the technical target of the Model 1. So once again, we see the strength of the Model 1. Let's get rid of this, that one, and that one. So yeah, technical target likely to be hit sooner or later. Beside that, for BTC, nothing to do for me because I was waiting for some sweeps of the highs for potential shorts to just trade with the trend. But we have been only trending down. So for my system, unfortunately, not a trigger. But yeah, avoiding stupid losses is also really important because a lot of time people focus on which trades to take. But it's nearly as important to on which trades you don't take. Because if you don't make stupid losses, you don't have to compensate them. And that's basically what my priority is, to just not make stupid losses. And then if you have a good win, you have a lot of bullets to shoot later. If we look at the volume, we can already see that volume is now spiking up quite a lot. So activity is increasing right here after hitting this refined demand. So let's see. However, structure-wise, especially if you have this strong of a downtrend, then don't look at the 1 minute, for example, or the 2 minute and look for break of structures right there. Like this 1 minute structure, obviously if you push above it, you have a 1 minute break of structure. But context-wise, that's not significant. What you want to look at is more important, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Well, the most close by one is 10 minutes, is then this one, which is then also around your daily VWAP. So get above that, that will signal strength, but until then, this is just super bearish. So let's see. The only trade I took is Tau. Let's see what it does. Yeah, okay, so it's around entry, not progressing too nicely, but watching BTC, it's holding up pretty well. I will explain why I took this trade, while it's against context and also against my bias, because I'm mainly expecting Tao to just sweep all this liquidity and take out this range low, as I've been saying last few days. But I still took it simply because it was too clean to pass on. In the meantime, welcome Sudo and Matt. So the reason why I took this, let me clean this up, is we have just simple range low, range high. Then we had tab 2 right here, which broke structure back to bullish right here. So then it's valid to look for model 2. Then price took out extreme liquidity right here. So that is what you want to see for model 2. And after that extreme liquidity was taken, price broke low time frame internal back here and also high time frame around there. Then all that was left behind at the range lows, so this liquidity already got taken. With this push up, this demand was taken. So this is your only demand level remaining from a bullish perspective. So price came back for that demand, broke internal back to bullish right here. At that point, there's no reason for price to take out this low again or even these lows because there's nothing within here. So but technically the risk to reward here is either price just nukes down, which could happen and is also more likely because we are still in a downtrend. But if it plays out, then the reward is 6R. So I'm just willing to lose this trade because the room for error is basically 0. Or at least, yeah, you get stopped out, that's the risk. But there's no reason for price to come under this low if this model 2 is to play out. And technically it has the triggers for model 2. It's also within the break structure happened within the value area low. So then I just shoot. If it turns into a loss, it's fine. Next time it's a win. And then it's like a 6R. So let's say I win this trade and you have 6R. And then after that you have all the time to wait for the next setup. And you only have to win a few. And then you are good. So that's the reason why I took it. And right now, price also very locally, if we zoom in more. Here it came down, pushed up. So technically, like here, you have your downtrend. So you have low, lower high, lower low. But this is technically a swing failure. That's what I like on the low time frame. Swing failure and then a bullish break. So this move took liquidity right here. Then it broke structure back to bullish, creating new demand at the bottom, which was also mitigated right here. So right now, the room for error is super, super small. The only level price still can get to keep the model alive is this tiny demand zone on the 3-minute. And then it can reverse. But yeah, this can also slice through any minute, like now. And then it's a stop out. It's perfectly fine. Because this model, as I explained, the context is not the best. Because there's a lot of reason for price to go lower. So then expecting reversal here is not, context-wise, not really, does not make a lot of sense. But the only reason why I would take it is because it's just a clean model 2. And if it would go up, then maybe it can take liquidity and then flow over into a distribution to then take all the liquidity. So let's see, very close to stopped out, probably getting stopped out. But sometimes these models just fail. It's part of the game. The return to zone is also not the worst. Let's see. Like that. However, this move down, this last one was pretty aggressive. So as I said, I want to first see some stalling here and then a reversal. But yeah, BTC obviously doesn't help either with this crazy weakness. Otherwise, it's likely that these models do play out. Let me quickly see. It's now in the last demand. So if I hide this for a moment, this could still reverse from here. Less demand, but it's so close to the low. I don't think it will reverse, but we can just put an alert there. Alert there. But I see it as a stopped out trade. Hype. So hype is basically still high time frame. That is the stop out, I think. Yeah, so that's now stopped out. Unfortunate, but part of the game. Can it still flow over into Model 1? Technically, yes. Am I really watching for it? Not really, because we are now below fell. We are also creating supply here, so I will put an alert at this level here and a bit here and see how it progresses, because it can always flow over into Model 1. And the return to zone is still pretty good, but yeah, as said, there's a lot of liquidity just below. So then the trigger needs to be super, super clean, that you cannot pass on it, but otherwise this can also really quickly just slice through and then take out all the liquidity below. Okay, BTC, the selling is increasing, as mentioned. Can we see it? Yeah, so right now on BTC, you see all these liquidations coming in. Heavy selling, but also can also be longs forced out or shorts entering. But this is how oftentimes such a slow move down eventually ends, just with a big liquidation event. So maybe we get that. And it's also the reason why probably a lot of alts are now shitting the bed. This is just, damn it. Look how strong this is. It's crazy. It reached the last supply in this range before hitting the technical target. Regarding hype, I still think this goes lower because we have this 1, 2, basically a model 1 into model 2. It also broke internal structure right here. So I think this one will eventually go here. And then I'm watching for that bullish PO3 idea. So maybe I will watch the lower time frame later. Or let's see. Maybe can catch if we have something clean up here. Yeah, the problem is that we have only liquidity here, so not a clean supply block. Otherwise, I was interested in, or we do have something. Yeah, so this is probably the market nuking further. So the only supply we have on hype is this supply. If we come into there, then I'm interested in potential short, if structure allows it, to trade the continuation of this distribution. Basically something like this, move into it, break, and then travel to the technical target at the range low, and then see, because high time frame is still bullish, so we still want to prefer longs over shorts. If we tap into this demand, reclaim the range, and then play it like some sort of a bullish peer tree, which we have seen more often lately on hype. So let's see if we get something like that. So earlier we came into this demand. I was doubting to take a long. This was basically extreme demand into your range, and there was local structure to work with. So you could also see it kind of like 1, 2, 3, kind of 4, and then low, lower, high, lower, low, break, where this is your break of structure. So I was doubting, should I take a long or not? But yeah, it's against a distribution, so that's low probability. And RR wise, it's also not the best, because then your target would be here, so it would not even be a 2R, because here I want to short. And it's not really a clean setup. It's just yeah, demand and then market structure. So I decided not to take it. Could have worked, but not really rewarding too much. But right now I'm watching for that move into supply for potential short. And I would like to get some structure. We have solid structure right now. Higher high, higher low, higher high. So if this continues like this, and then tap into that supply breaker structure, and this is a potential trade I would be interested in. A short for a long later on. Beside that, market is oh, look, that's what I talked about, how the slow bleed often ends. How we wanted to go, just PC being a cunt. Yeah, agree. Otherwise it would probably have worked, but yeah, that's why context is also important. But yeah, willing to take the risk, like 6R for 1R. That's good enough. Yeah, these are the, let's have a look at, yeah, look. Now we see open interest nuking, spot, delta, heavy negative delta. So this is a lot of forced selling right now. And that's better to see for potential reversal. Now I know most of the times you need that in order to get a reversal. But this is pretty heavy. ETH just swept range low. Look, this is way too aggressive, so I'm not looking at this anymore. Now attention is fully on the range low sweep. Just right there, so alert. What is ETH doing? I did not like this range for the reason that it's also the location of the range doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so this range low has been taken. If you pull the range from high to low, but technically high time frame you are in a downtrend. So personally, I like more to then draw it from low to high. But yeah, this is a significant level. But the way it comes down, it's also super weak. Is hype. This is our structure on hype. If it already breaks structure, then I'm not interested in it. I wanted to tap here. Okay, so UCT just took out the last supply. So now there's basically nothing in between here and the range high. Quick look at gold. So we had a flip zone. It's basically this market structure with internal structure like this, lower high, lower low, break. And this was supply. And if supply just pushes through, then oftentimes that supply turns into demand if it's bullish, and then you get a reversal from there. But right now it's slicing through it both ways, so that's not really good. There's some demand in this block, but yeah, not anything I would trade. Like what I would trade maybe is this. Seeing this as our new range high, range low, and then we have the fib levels below us with pretty clean demand and more refined demand below it. So then you can just watch it from a range perspective. Not sure what price will do from here, but then if you take the range low into this demand POI, break structure, then that can be a long trigger for the high. Then it doesn't need to be a 3-tap per se. A 2-tap with clean internal break structure can also do the work. So that is what I want to see for a trade. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in trading gold because this is not part of my system. Take the range low or the range high, and then I'm gonna get a trade. Beside that, this is just internal noise to me. So alert at the high, alert at the low, and then watch it from there. Yeah, what else do I have to say? Hype is not already breaking structure here to the downside, unfortunately. Let's see. Took liquidity, is now breaking structure to the downside. Where's the VWAP? Hey, for scalping, you get like weakness up, Rebreak of structure, you could scalp it, but that's a different way of trading. Do not really advise doing that. But overall, I think we go for the range lows. And there we can look for longs again. What are the others doing? Taoui super close to yeah, it's now taking that liquidity, so that's, in my opinion, just a matter of time before taking out all the liquidity. Hype discussed. Yeah, so Sol also just super weak. And this is like, again, you could see it as potential new ranges, but context wise, it's all internal. And internal is 9 out of 10 times just a trap if you have a main range below you. So right here, this is the range low. Price now really close to sweeping it. But that comes with some opportunities. With this important low below it. Now we can watch, does this turn into a potential tap 2? And then potential tap 3. So this is getting more interested, finally. The bigger range in play. So yeah, that's it basically. Let me look at the chat. If there are questions, let me know. Otherwise, I don't have much to say. I can see, because we now get big liquidations in, a lot of times that can result in like a big squeeze. And then people think, oh, I missed the bottom, let me FOMO in. But just focus on, is there a model? That's what I always want to do. Because 9 out of 10 times price will eventually still come back, take that low again, form an accumulation, and then we can play it. Right now, it can give a crazy reversal, but it can also slice lower and then a reversal. So a lot of times people think, oh, now there is some buying, let me put my stop loss here, and price goes up, oh nice, and then you get stopped out again, and then you get a bounce again, and then you put your stop loss here, new trade, get swiped out again, and then you are trapped in the loop, and that's not what you want. So best is to just zoom out and look at the bigger picture and wait for some clean break of structures. Until then, this looks super, super weak. So be careful logging without very good reasoning. Yeah, the magic internet monies are not really, it's more like black magic internet coins. If you look at BTC and then two stocks, we're in a total different different environment. It's crazy. Are there any questions? Open interest nuking, so that's better. Can also be just shorts taking profits right now. But that's for potential bottom better, because that means that they are realizing gains and are potentially making them ready for a new move, either a reversal or a new range, and then start it from there. What time frame would you use for a boss now? Depends a lot on what you, if you want to scalp, then I would still, like, even on the 3-minute, there's no structure at all. Like first one is here, but like just a bigger picture, like 4-hour structure is up here. Beside that, 1-hour structure is up here. So it's all pretty high up. So I don't know, what do we have on the lower? 15, like 15 and 1 hour and everything is right here. So there's not really, yeah, for this I would, at the very, very least, 69.8. That will be the first sign of strength if you get above that. Until then, lower highs for lower lows are still most likely. But what I would like is just maybe new low, big move up, come back down, and then new range low, range high, and then play it from there. Most of the times that happens eventually. And it gets clear. Right now, for me, yeah, look, I'm not gonna pretend that I know what's gonna happen. It can literally do everything right here. So I have no idea. The only thing is no trend. Also look at the VWAPs. Everything is pointing lower. So expecting reversal here is maybe 10% probability, and just trend continuation until proven otherwise, 90% probability. Crypto is the biggest wasted potential the past 5 years. It literally is. The crazy thing is, like, Sailor has been buying since, what is it? It's 5 or 6 years ago, dollar cost averaging, and he's now selling for a loss, which is crazy. ETH is at the same price or lower than 5 years ago. It's fucking insane. Yeah, Jules. If I could go back in time, take me money from 24 and buy stocks and gold. And then be retired. No, I think memes are also just a way to attract, get money out of the markets. And we also need to get rid of that. I think meme coins in the long run have ruined the crypto because of all the scams and the weird stuff. Most people see the crypto market as just a clown industry, and yeah, I cannot tell them that they're wrong. It is literally a space full of clowns and scammers and stuff. But that's why most people trade nowadays. So it doesn't really matter. It's a bit unfortunate that we did not get a super clean short. Swept this high and I would have shorted, but we did not do it, unfortunately. But yeah, beside that, I think everything is clear. It just needs time, especially after these aggressive moves. Okay, hype. What I told about the potential scalp, don't do it, because we now have an SFP at the high, but also an SFP at the low. So this could still return now back to the high. Still take this. If we then get a break of structure, then I would look at it. You are also in the middle of your range, so no trade zone. Only trades potential short here or longs lower down. Quick look before I close it off. What are the others doing? Yeah, so Fed holding super strong still. We are now coming into the Model 2 POI. So keeping an eye on this to see likely taking that lower as well. Current move down is pretty aggressive, so it needs time. But if this bounces, takes demand, consolidates, and then gives a clean pulse, then I'm interested in longs on this one. Either price forms a Model 2 right here, and continues its uptrend, or it's likely to get ugly, because losing this demand would also mean that the successful retest of the value area high failed. Then holding below it could mean that this is your distribution and that you get kind of like a bearish PO3. In which, although I think it's lower probability, but depends a bit on BTC as well. Get rid of that drawing. Because we just came out of a super clean Model 1. So then it's context-wise a bit weird if you have this clean of a Model 1 to directly flow over into a bearish PO3. Could happen, but it's context-wise does not make too much sense, or they want to really extract everything. But overall, as long as we hold above these levels, this can just easily continue the uptrend. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This one is looking pretty strong, for now at least. What has SEC been doing? Yeah, mostly not really interesting. Mostly chop. BNB with that failed, or at least potential failed breakout, nearing the this demand and the value area high. So reaction there will be pretty important. So we can watch how does price come into it. Any reaccumulation here, I'm super interested in longs. Otherwise, this can also just be a massive scam move and then down. But underproven otherwise. Also here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This can just be a bullish Rimsey as well, where you break out, retrace, retest the value area high of your range. If you then get like a local model reaccumulation, then that's a long trigger towards higher prices. So let's see how that evolves. For now, I think BNB and FED are the more interesting charts with hype. The rest is more or less just following BTC and need quite a lot of time to give anything to work with, especially after this crazy move. So that's it for me. Let me quickly look at the chat. Yeah, Matt, I think a lot of people have it's similar for a lot of people. But looking back, yeah, you can only learn from it. And you can make yourself crazy for what if they should have, if things like that. I've also had that a long time, but it doesn't help you any further. So yeah, just learn from it and continue. Do you trade near? It has been showing wipe of models. I don't trade it. I think it's I think it's a scam. But what is not a scam? But I can have a look at it. Like this project just pivots to whatever is the hype. So last cycle they were layer 1. Right now they pivoted to AI. They have momentum. It's not weird. Okay, so daily, just high time frame. Low, lower high is probably also 3-day, maybe even weekly. Yeah, so weekly structure. Okay, pretty interesting. Let's see. First, major swing liquidity taken right here on the weekly, and also a weekly downtrend that got broken right here to bullish, leaving behind range demand. So basically this whole zone is range demand, and also super strong range demand. Why is it strong? Because this move took key liquidity and then broke structure. So if you have a breaker structure, then there are a few ways to make it even stronger. And one of them is to grab liquidity and then break structure. And this is on the weekly, so that's pretty significant. So this is your, basically, this whole box is your range demand. And then you also have refined demand zones. One I can directly see is this one, the start of the last impulse. So any retrace right here can just be a higher low for a higher high on the weekly. So that's pretty interesting on the bigger picture, where your targets will technically be right there. Then what are local levels? Quite a lot of liquidity probably stacked at those levels. Let's go to the daily. Liquidity right there. Yeah, so daily is super bullish. With your market structure low is below this refined demand. It's technically this higher high, higher low, boom, massive impulse. But a lot of times people think, oh, this will just continue. But most of the times, sooner or later, you get back for that range demand mitigation and then continue. So this is a major PY, but it can take a long time before it gets back there. Let's see lower time frames. Clean demand right here. Like this, top of this demand got nicely mitigated right there. And then it pushed up. So on the 4 hour, you have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Oh, you have even more lower low, lower high, SFP break. So here you break your internal back to bullish. Creating new demand. So you're always, if you are in a high time frame uptrend, which is this, is now weekly bullish, daily bullish. If then your internal, like 4 hour, also breaks back to bullish, then everything is pointing upwards. So then it's likely to get back to your highs. Well, the chart is not bad. Maybe I will add it as well. Here we have, so this was the, what was it? 6 hour demand. So that's significant. But if you look at the 1 hour or the 45, then you have demand right on top of that. So that's the more interesting one. Alert. Get it there. Did we had? You had kind of an accumulation here. One, two, three. Was there demand? think this was the demand mitigation. Let's see. Yeah, so like on the 15, you can see this was all mitigated, and your extreme demand is this one. That one got mitigated. And then you broke this one to bullish as well. Yeah, so this was pretty clean model 1, actually. Model 1 into model 2, extreme demand, continuation. This potential new range to watch. Not the best. Do we have something here? We have demand right at the deviation threshold. Pretty interesting chart. Main POI, like this is an internal range. As always, have to be super clean. But mainly looking for higher low and then higher high to travel back to that high. Basically because we turned this 4 hours back to bullish. So if we just look at the, like weekly is bullish, daily is bullish, and then 4 hour was bearish. But that one made lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, bullish break, higher low, higher high. And this was an accumulation range, model 1 into model 2. So this is clearly where buyers, big players stepped in again. So if you retest that, they will likely protect that position. So any retrace of this is a buy. Then we can watch what is the volume profile. Yeah, so highest probability is buys from here, but you have to watch if that's it's the bigger volume. Yeah, at the bigger volume we are above the value area high. So if it holds here, it can also just easily travel back to the highs. Little volume. So yeah, not a bad chart. Might add it to the. Oh, I already have it right here. Well, then it's moved up to the list right now. Thanks for sharing. Did something happen on BTC? No, they still did not find any buyers. And often that means that you get another sweep till you get that big relief, and then it shows that there can be a change. Right now, it doesn't seem like enough pain is done. So then you get maybe another sweep, and then they look when is it time to reverse. For so far, it does not really seem the case yet. Gold, yeah, nothing. Okay, so at least now I'm here, so I'm thankful for that. Yeah, that's great to hear. And I think we will get our time. Like, I've been here since 2017. Like, it's weird how weak it is now compared to traditional finance and stuff. But sentiment-wise and just everything, we are getting really close to a bottom, I feel. Like, every cycle, it's very typical that the people say altcoins are dead, the market will never recover, it's all done. And every cycle at the point that I think, well, maybe they are right this time. That's when you are very close to the bottom. So that is right now. I feel like everyone is pivoting to stocks. Crypto is dead. It won't ever recover. It's all a scam. All those things are all bottoming signs. And always at the bottom, you get that. So if you stick around this long, I think it will be rewarding to stick around a little longer, because you get always rewarded in the end for your patience and for persevering. So eventually, market will turn, and then a lot of opportunities will come. At least that's what how I feel about it. Yeah, the fear and greed index. I have never looked at it anymore. It doesn't work, I think. Not yet anymore. Like in the bull market, it works pretty well. Yeah, capitulation, and then in 1-2 years to 250K. I would not be surprised to see that. I actually believe it will happen eventually. But yeah, first get out all the non-believers. Eventually, it will go again. So I'm ready for the moment that happens. The group will still be there. If it happens, then we will get a big party, and hopefully all of you guys are still around during that time. So just hold pro. No, I trade up and down, and when the time is there, I will get in. But my main priority is just trading, trading, and then when the right time is there, deploy it in the right assets. Mm, So yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Market is brutal, but I feel like we are learning a lot, especially in these conditions. So always optimistic, and I feel great opportunities will come. Also this week, last week, you just need a few trades. As long as you don't make these stupid trades, then everything can reverse quickly. So stay tuned, don't lose interest, and then keep sharing the interesting setups in the group as well, so we can all profit from it. And then we're gonna smash it till I'm gone on vacation. After that, I'm back, of course. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys Discord.